Have you ever tried to argue with someone online, only to feel like you're talking to a brick wall? Or maybe you've watched a public figure say something so bafflingly wrong, yet they defend it with unshakable confidence. If you've ever felt that frustration, you've come face to face with what I call the resistance of stupidity. Now, let's be clear. When I say stupidity, I'm not talking about a lack of formal education or a low IQ. I'm talking about a specific kind of intellectual stubbornness. It's the active resistance to new information, the refusal to engage with facts, and the doubling down on incorrect beliefs even when mountains of evidence prove them wrong. This isn't just about being mistaken. It's about being willfully, defiantly wrong. So why is this phenomena so powerful? Why does it feel impossible to break through? Well, a big part of it is something psychologists call the Dunning-Kruger effect. In simple terms, this is when people with low ability in a certain area overestimate their own skill. They're so incompetent that they can't even recognize their own incompetence. Think of the person who's seen one documentary and now believes they're an expert on climate science, dismissing decades of research from actual scientists. They don't know what they don't know, and their confidence is completely disconnected from their actual knowledge. This creates a kind of cognitive armor. When you present them with facts, their brain doesn't see it as a helpful correction. It sees it as an attack on their identity and their intelligence. And what do we do when we feel attacked? We defend ourselves. This leads to another fascinating psychological trap: confirmation bias. Our brains are naturally wired to seek out and favor information that confirms what we already believe. It's like having a personal cheerleader in your head who only shows you articles, videos, and opinions that agree with you, while conveniently hiding everything that might challenge your views. So, if you believe the earth is flat, your brain will actively hunt for that one obscure blog post that supports your theory, while ignoring all the satellite images, flight data, and basic physics that say otherwise. It feels good to be right, and our brains will work overtime to maintain that feeling, even if it means living in a bubble of misinformation. This bubble is made even stronger by our social circles. We tend to surround ourselves with people who think like us. This is called an echo chamber. When everyone in your group shares the same incorrect belief, it doesn't feel incorrect anymore. It feels like common sense. It feels like the truth. Any outside opinion is dismissed as fake news or the agenda of the other side. The group reinforces the individual's belief, and the individual's belief strengthens the group. It's a powerful feedback loop that's incredibly difficult to escape. Think about it in the context of online communities. Algorithms on social media are designed to show us more of what we already like. If you watch one conspiracy video, get ready to see 10 more recommended to you. The platform isn't trying to make you misinformed. It's just trying to keep you engaged. But the side effect is that it can quickly radicalize a person's beliefs, pulling them deeper into a rabbit hole where facts no longer matter. So, what happens when you try to argue with someone who's protected by this Dunning-Kruger armor, fueled by confirmation bias, and insulated by an echo chamber? You get the resistance of stupidity. You present a peer-reviewed study. They send you a blurry meme. You offer a logical, step-by-step argument. They call you a sheep. It's not a debate. It's a collision of two different realities. They aren't playing the same game you are. You're playing chess, trying to use logic and evidence. They're playing checkers, but they think knocking over all the pieces is a valid move. This is why trying to win an argument with a willfully ignorant person is often a losing battle. Their goal isn't to find the truth. Their goal is to protect their ego and their worldview. They're not looking for enlightenment. They're looking for validation. And if you can't give them that, they'll simply dismiss you. So, does this mean we should just give up? That we should let misinformation run rampant? Absolutely not. But it does mean we need to change our strategy. Instead of a direct, frontal assault with facts, we might need a more subtle approach. One of the most effective techniques is called the Socratic method. Instead of telling someone they're wrong, you ask them questions. Oh, that's an interesting point. How did you come to that conclusion? Or can you help me understand the source of that information? This forces them to explain their own reasoning. Sometimes, in the process of trying to articulate their beliefs, they might discover the flaws on their own. It's less confrontational and invites them to think critically rather than just react defensively. Another key is to find common ground. If you're arguing about a political issue, maybe you can both agree that you want what's best for the country. Start there. Build a bridge of shared values before you try to send facts across it. People are much more likely to listen to someone they see as being on their team rather than an opponent. Empathy is your secret weapon. Try to understand why they believe what they believe. What fears or hopes are driving their opinions? When you connect on a human level, you break down the us versus them mentality. It's also crucial to pick your battles. You are not going to change the mind of every anonymous troll on the internet. Your energy is finite. Focus your efforts where they can actually make a difference, perhaps in conversations with friends or family members who you have a real relationship with, and even then know when to walk away. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is to disengage. Refusing to participate in a pointless bad faith argument denies them the attention they crave. And perhaps most importantly, we need to apply this same skepticism to ourselves. How do we know we're not the ones stuck in an echo chamber? How can we be sure we're not falling for confirmation bias? The answer is intellectual humility. It's the willingness to say, I might be wrong. Actively seek out opinions and information that challenge your own beliefs. Follow people you disagree with, not to argue with them, but to understand their perspective. Read books and articles from a variety of sources. Being truly intelligent isn't about knowing everything. It's about recognizing how much you don't know and being constantly willing to learn. The resistance of stupidity is a powerful force in our world, amplified by technology and our own psychology. It can be frustrating, disheartening, and even dangerous, but it's not unbeatable. It requires patience, empathy, and a strategic approach. It requires us to be less like warriors trying to win a battle and more like gardeners, patiently planting seeds of curiosity and critical thinking. And it starts with tending to our own gardens first, making sure we are open to growth and new information. Because the fight against ignorance begins with the humility to question ourselves. Thanks so much for watching. If this video gave you something to think about, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into how our minds work. Let me know your own experiences with this in the comments below. See you in the next one.